I used to think I was an entrepreneur, grinding, learning, following all the big name gurus. But the truth was that I was just fooling myself. I wasn't building a business, I was just consuming content endlessly and calling it progress. And to be honest, you're doing the same thing right now by watching this video. But you're here watching this video, so this is my advice now as a young entrepreneur. If you're new to my content, I'm 21 years old. I'm building a coaching business and this YouTube channel, helping guide young men to a path of physical, spiritual, and material wealth. In this video, I'm going to touch on key insights that I've learned along my way to becoming this young entrepreneur. When you're starting out on your journey into entrepreneurship and actually becoming someone who identifies successfully as an entrepreneur, is deciding what information to listen to. Because there is a lot of information out there online on the internet. With there being a lot of information, it allows bad actors, bad gurus, and we'll get onto this later, but it allows bad people to kind of make money and make progress and corrupt the online entrepreneurship industry. Once you solve the problem of deciding and choosing and knowing how to pick apart information that's presented to you online, when you can figure out what information would benefit you on your path versus what information would benefit someone else on their path versus a third dimension, it's not a two-dimensional thing, it's a three-dimensional thing. You've got to figure out the good advice for you, the good advice for other people, and the bad advice, which is presented to you by these online gurus who present themselves as someone who has made it in life, done all these amazing things that you want to do. I said this in my last video as well, the age of the internet, it's a double-edged sword. You can use it for good and you can use it for bad. And in the context of this video, knowing what information there is out there and knowing how to decipher that information, we really have two sides of the same coin. We have the internet, which is the coin, and we also have the good side of the internet, which allows people to make generational amounts of money, break out of their what could seem like predetermined environment, what allows people to improve their lives in a way that we've never seen before. That is the good side of the internet. There's also the bad side, and the bad side is these people, they themselves have these false desires where they do not feel any long-term satisfaction or fulfillment, but they're simply seeking the short-term dopamine hits, and they figured out that they can actually make a lot of money by selling courses, selling the knowledge on how to do things, but they actually haven't done it themselves. And that is the bad side, that is the flip side of the information coin. So let's talk about these bad gurus online, because yes, there are bad gurus online, there are scammers, and that I have to preface it by saying just because there are scammers and there are quite a growing number of them doesn't mean that online entrepreneurship in its entirety is a bad thing. You can get trapped into this absolutist thinking of, oh, it's all a scam, it will never work for me, and that's a very negative mindset to have. It's a mindset based in scarcity. What you would need to do is adopt an abundancy mindset, a nuanced mindset. These bad gurus, they fundamentally don't have a purpose-driven business, in my opinion. I'm saying this based on my own experience. The fact that I had false desires and then I was trying to learn and take in all this information from people who had the answers to all my problems. But the fact is, my problems were based on a false desire, and that false desire wasn't aligned with who I truly am. Now I am aligned with what my true purpose is, through doing these mental exercises, thinking critically, thinking deeply, slowing down, not rushing, and actually thinking these things through. You, like me, you will have these 3 a.m. motivation rushes. You will feel like you're destined for something greater, but you won't actually know what you are destined for. If you don't know what you're destined for, you'll never make progress towards your destiny. Finding out the purpose, what drives you, what motivates you, is a key thing to do. These bad gurus, they don't have that. They don't have this fundamental acknowledgement or awareness of their desires. So they themselves are seeking answers to false desires. But with this information age, with the information coin that we're talking about here, online information which is accessible to everyone can hurt negative mindsets. And this is why you see a lot of people in predominantly working class environments having this fixed mindset, and it tends to be a mindset of scarcity, a mindset of reluctance. They don't want to give away what little they have because they fear the consequence. They know how bad it gets. And when they're getting all this information and not deciphering it and not categorizing it into beneficial advice for them, and when they have all these bad gurus selling them this silver bullet advice, they get demotivated, they think everything's a scam, and then they are not able to look at the facts of the situation, look at their own path and identify what aligns with them. There are good gurus out there as well as bad gurus. There are good gurus out there. It is unfortunately the bad gurus which are the loudest, get the most attention in the attention economy. They sell guarantees, they sell absolutes, they sell silver bullet advice, which is what I'm warning against. So you spend your time listening to all this advice and you're not actually getting anywhere, and you end up finding that you are consuming all this self-improvement content endlessly. Before you was consuming maybe football content or political content, but now you've just replaced that with self-improvement content. By doing that, you are not making progress, and therefore in your negative mindset, in your scarcity mind, you are saying to yourself, look, I'm consuming all this information, and because I'm consuming all this information and nothing is happening, no progress is being tangibly made, you're not noticing significant differences, you're not noticing zeros in your bank account, you're not noticing the fact that you are able to book a flight and work wherever you want in the world, you're still in your part-time job. This is why you are a wantrepreneur. You're not, at the moment, an entrepreneur. You are a wantrepreneur. You want to be an entrepreneur, so you are a wantrepreneur. You're aware of the potential, you're aware of the possibilities, but you need to realize your potential. And by realizing your potential, that is when we can start to call ourselves entrepreneurs. That's what I believe I'm doing myself at the moment. That's why I'm making this video, to try and help. So adopting a mindset based on nuance is going to help turn you from a wantrepreneur into an entrepreneur. How do you do this? So my takeaway advice, general advice that could apply to as many people as possible. Keep in mind, it's not silver bullet advice. It might not work for you. But to get into this mindset where you are able to decipher what information aligns with your purpose, you need to know what your purpose is. You need to understand what drives you. You need to understand your true short-term, medium-term, long-term desires. You need to get rid of the false desires. How I did this personally was loading up a Google Doc, starting with the short-term, identifying what short-term desires do I have at the moment, what motivates me, what do I want. Now, at the start, it was money, relationships, stuff like that. And then as you go through and start to develop, start to think through and actually not rush, you can't rush it, you have to spend time doing this. But as you start to go through this process and identifying, would money make me happy? Yes or no or maybe. And then you work from that point, say, okay, so if I had all the money in the world, would I still have certain issues? And then you have to identify what issues you have currently. If you want more specific advice on this, I'm very happy to talk to you privately about it. So if you enjoyed listening to this video, if you felt that it helped you should head over to my Instagram, which is linked in the description below, and we can have a chat about this topic, how to find your purpose. I am in the process of building my coaching business. I'll be launching very soon. Keep in touch for that, where I can really work with you one-on-one. The next video will be out next Wednesday, so Wednesday coming up at 7 PM, and I hope to see you there.